This is my shop stool, and it looks like just about every other shop stool out there, or worse. Most like this one aren't comfortable and definitely don't last forever. And as you can see, it's well past the time for it to be retired. So what do I replace it with? Well, not the same type of thing that I'll have to replace once again in a couple years or less. I replaced it with this, a USA-made Vyper chair. And I'm going to show you why I'll never need to buy a replacement for it for as long as I live. You got to see the details, and if you spend any time in a shop or garage, you got to hear why you must get one. If you're like me, you spend a lot of time out in your garage, sometimes on your feet, but sometimes on a shop stool, which every garage or shop needs at least one of. I spend a lot of time at this workbench, and a good portion of that time is sitting in front of this computer where I'm working on videos or writing scripts or doing research for my videos so I can make sure I give you guys the right information. The older I get, the more my back is letting me know that I should have started taking better care of it a long time ago. And I know a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will. Just give it some time. But I wonder if it wasn't due to me spending so much time on, well, things like this, my cheap old hot rod shop stool that I picked up somewhere years ago that's seen a lot of, seat time, and it shows. The cover's been ripped for a while, the padding is broken down to the point of being almost non-existent. I mean, the exposed cheap wood underneath is flaking. Even the supporting pieces are getting rusty, which is weird because this has never been outside, not even for a day. So yeah, it's time for this one to go. But what am I going to replace it with? Well, buying the same type of thing doesn't make sense. Repeating the same mistakes over and over again doesn't result in improvements. So at this point, I needed something that'll last me a lot longer and be better for my comfort and my health. When I was at the PRI show in Indianapolis, I stopped by the Vyper chair display booth. And I heard about them, but I wanted to see them in person. And I was really impressed with the product and what I learned about the company. But the moment I actually sat on one, I knew the quality was immediately there. It was so solid and so comfortable that I knew that when I finally decided to replace my old cheap hot rod stool, that it was going to be with a Vyper chair. Now notice how I say chair when it comes to the Vyper product, but stool when I'm talking about what I've been using for far too long. Well, that's because in making this video, I decided for me there's a difference. Now, this is just my opinion, and it might not be textbook, but a stool is pretty basic when it comes to things. It's something that you sit on temporarily and then go do something else. A chair, on the other hand, in my book, is a step up. You sit on a chair for longer, it's more of a commitment, and you probably get what I'm saying here. A stool is temporary, but a chair, that means a bit more comfort and long-term purpose. And there's a lot of choices when it comes to buying a shop stool or chair or whatever you want to call it. Most of them are like my old cheap hot rod stool like this. You get one of these for about $40, but the moment I laid eyes on a Vyper chair in person, I knew there was nothing better out there. I'll show you all the product details in a minute, but in addition, a few other things jumped out at me. Vyper Chair was started by two brothers, Dane and Dylan Rush, and these guys grew up in a garage and saw the need for a better shop chair not only for comfort, but for safety. Something that can move around but won't tip easily, and make it 100% in the United States of America. I'm here to tell you that they succeeded. Now the Vyper Chair's YouTube channel, linked right down here in the video description, is great, and if you check out their videos, you can easily get a feel for what the Rush brothers and the Vyper Chair Company stands for and how easy it is to feel right about supporting them through their product. Now you might know that I try to support American companies wherever possible, which is not always easy, if not sometimes impossible depending on the product. Now, I'm happy to say that Vyper chairs are 100% made in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and even the hardware and components are made in America, sourced for American companies. I personally really admire and appreciate that. After waiting a lot longer than I should have, I finally decided to bite the bullet, and I headed over to vyperchair.com and configured the perfect chair for my needs. They got a lot of different configurations currently, tall chairs, low chairs, even lower chairs, and they're expanding all the time. Each chair has their own options as well as colors for the seat, legs, and wheels. Plus, you can pay a little bit more and choose any custom leg color you want and even have your own logo embroidered on the seat. Pretty cool. Now, of course, no top-of-the-line shop chair would be complete without options to add cool accessories like tool trays or upgrades. Now, for my needs at a workbench, I ordered the Elevated Steel Max with the quick height option. And I got a gray seat, red legs, and red wheels. This is going to match my OmniWall wall organization system colors perfectly. Now, you probably noticed that Vyper chairs don't come cheap, but again, they're not cheap in any sense of the word. You'll see what I mean in a bit. I wanted something that'll last me forever, and as I and others often say, how much is your health worth? Or how much is your comfort worth when you're working long days in the shop? So after just a few days of production time, my Vyper chair arrived, so let's see it for the first time together. So this is the box that it came in. Pretty cool, American flag on that. Well packaged, arrived pretty nicely. Let's open it up. These are the guys that I told you about. Here's a warning. Basically, don't do anything dumb, use common sense, but they probably want you to read this just in case. Common sense ain't so common, but I'm sure you guys watching this know that. Instruction manual. Pretty detailed. Definitely an engineer wrote this. That's good. And this is the supplemental instructions for the quick height assembly to replace the threaded rod version. I'll show you the differences in a little bit. And a cool Vyper sticker. Always love cool stickers and freebies. Here is that big stainless steel foot rail. If you can see that, but look at those welds. Top-notch stuff. Oh, this thing is heavy. This is the quick adjust seat post. The backrest. I'll get to this in a minute. These are the arms. Again, pretty heavy. The center hub. This is machined aluminum. And beautifully done, I might add. And the cap to the adjustment. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. Look at that. Look how thick that is. Can't wait to park it on that. These are grade 8 fasteners to hold everything together. All right, let's see what's in this box. Check these out. These are heavy-duty 4-inch casters. This chair comes with 5 of these things, and look at that. Can you see that? Little Vyper logo embossed right there. Everything about this is well thought out. This ain't cheap junk, my friends. And the back for the backrest. Now, you wouldn't think that a shop stool always needs a backrest, but the design and positioning of where they put this, it really makes a huge difference. I learned it firsthand when I was at the PRI show. This is really important for this chair. And the leg braces. And finally, the quick adjustment lever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thoroughly review and follow these instructions, and I'm going to get this thing put together. This is going to be great. Now, I'm not going to show you the detailed assembly of a Vyper chair step by step because these instructions that they provide are as above average as the chair itself. However, if you do want to see the complete assembly videos, I'm probably not going to be able to do it as well as what the Vyper team did on their own videos on their YouTube channel. So check that out if you want to see the assembly details in detail. However, I will give a brief overview of how it all goes together and some more features. Now, before I get started, here's a couple hints. Follow these instructions. They designed it, they engineered it, and they made the parts, and they know how it goes together. This isn't your ordinary cheap shop stool that comes with a stamped steel flimsy wrench. You know what I mean. Hand tighten everything before using a tool, powered or otherwise, for final tightening. Now, a lot of fasteners are grade 8 and are in standard sizes. Nothing is metric. That's a touch that I don't think everyone will notice. There's no extra hardware or fasteners included. You're going to use everything that they provide. And that's good. How many times have you put something together only to find extra fasteners left over and you're not sure if you missed something or if it was an extra just in case you lose one or whatever the case is? That sometimes causes more concern than it solves. My view is that if the fasteners are worth a shit, then they don't need extras because they do their jobs. So as mentioned, some parts are billet aluminum and stainless steel, so don't go all Hercules or you might strip some things out. It took me a little over a half an hour from start to finish to assemble this, and it's pretty easy. If you can't assemble this chair, you either need to just ask someone for help, or you probably shouldn't be in the shop. But again, follow the included instructions, but the condensed version is this. You bolt the 5 legs to the center hub. I call them arms, but they're also known as legs. If I didn't mention it, they are laser cut steel powder coated in those custom colors. There is a billet aluminum center hub that you can't see right there, but you saw it in the unboxing. And then you bolt the 5 legs to each other once you get them bolted to the hub. And then you bolt the leg braces and casters to the legs. By the way, the only issue I really ran into is when you tighten the casters onto the leg supports and leg assembly, you need 2 3/4 wrenches. I know that not every smaller shop has both, and sockets won't fit, but 1 standard open-end wrench and 1 adjustable wrench will do just fine, not a big deal. Then you bolt the stainless steel foot rail to the assembly, and then you install the seat support. The one I ordered, as I mentioned, has the quick height option, and you can also get it with a thread and rod and clamp height adjustment if that's your style. And in this case, for this style, you just lift the seat and it goes straight up. You don't have to spin it or anything. Now, they don't offer hydraulics because hydraulic will fail, so you do have 2 options that will not fail. And one thing, the quick adjust version does not swivel. You need to get the threaded rod version and leave the clamp loose, which I'm unsure if Vyper advises, but the casters make turning while sitting on this chair very easy, and I'll get to the casters in just a bit. So once you get all that together, you assemble the seat and the optional laser cut backrest right here. And then you install the seat assembly onto the seat support assembly, and then sit your ass down on this industrial foam. This is not cheap, basic foam tuffet. Then appreciate your American engineering and manufacturing with a beer of your choice, and then you're done. Now, I asked Vyper about the seat cover if it was leather, and no, it's not, and that's a good thing. Vyper's always looking to improve and evolve their products, and they found that if they use leather, that it didn't wear well, and as you might expect, there's a higher maintenance level to that. So now they use industrial vinyl, double stitched, less cracks, less scratches, and holds a shape up and holds up better. This is a shop chair after all. I'll save the leather care for my cars. I think it was a good move for something that's going to get the snot beat out of it for years, and the double stitching will help keep it together. And as I mentioned, you can get a custom logo on it. I decided not to because, well, I kind of like the Vyper logo. I want everybody to know that I got a genuine Vyper chair. And let's talk about these casters. These aren't tiny little wheels. These things are big, 4 inches in diameter, and there's 5 of them for a reason. To not get stopped by little things when you're trying to get a job done. Even power cords, this will roll right on over them. Now for some, it might roll too much. There it goes, bang. I've been so used to sitting on a shop stool without casters so long that when I get up, the chair rolls away from me. Well, Vyper thought of that too, and they do offer locking caster attachments along with a lot more cool accessories and upgrades. Pretty cool. So you can see why I had to have this chair. Everything is the highest quality, period. The seat is super comfortable, and it will be the last shop chair I buy, unless I buy more Vyper chairs. In fact, any part of this video that I recorded while I'm looking at this camera was sitting on my Vyper chair. And I've been using my Vyper chair daily for the past few weeks. It is phenomenal. I fully hope to take my last breath doing what I love doing right here in my garage. And I also expect to be sitting on this chair when I do it. The way it's designed and built, this chair is definitely going to outlive me, my son, and anyone else who owns it after that. I defy anybody to find a shop chair that is of lower price, that is better engineered, and is of better quality, made in the USA. Go ahead and try, but I'm not going to wait because I don't think such a thing exists, nor will it ever. If you've got a shop with many employees, you better get enough for all of them because if you get just one, they will engage in knockdown, drag-out fist fighting over them. That I can promise you. Now, Vyper recently added shop fans to their product lineup, and like the chairs, they are far from ordinary. They got a variable speed, brushless DC motor and a fan blade design that is powerful but very, very quiet. I've got a strong urge to replace my old and loud, inefficient fan here in my garage with one of those, so stay tuned. Now, if Vyper made an office chair, I'd definitely upgrade to that as well so I could spend more hours a day sitting on Vyper hardware. You hear that, Dane and Dylan? Get on it. I want one. Once again, check out Vyper's YouTube channel, as well as their website at vyperindustrial.com, and that's spelled V-Y-P-E-R. And trust me, their stuff is more than worth it. As always, thanks for hanging out in my garage with me. Hit me up with any questions or comments below, and I'll see you in my next video for more product reviews, how-tos, and garage life. Take it easy.